Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, everybody? I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS and BronxNet's Open, and we have a fantastic show for you. You're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, let me see. Our first guest is a member of the National Association of Black Military Women, the Brooklyn chapter. Brooklyn's in the house. She joins us today to speak about her time as a healthcare worker in the military, her greatest accomplishments as a nurse, and to highlight her work within the organization. So please welcome to the show. We've met her before. I know the organization. They do great things. Please welcome Annette Osborne. Annette, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bob Lee. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And thank you so much for inviting me, and so that I can tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit about my Brooklyn chapter. So thank you so much.
So start off, give us a little bit about yourself first.
Okay, so I'm a registered nurse. I'll just say about 40 some odd years. But
okay.
I'd like to start off with how I got into the military. It's a funny story. As a nurse at that point, it was about 8 years. I was a nurse for about 8 years. And for the audience that are nurses, they know that we kind of get bored and we want to move on, look at something else. So there was a job fair down in the city, one of the hotels, you know, all the different vendors, different hospitals there. I'm going from table to table. And then I see the Army Reserve. I see the Army there. And I'm like, whoa, let me back up a little bit. Let me listen to this recruiter. Now, again, for those who are in the military, they know recruiters can talk a whole lot of stuff, make you feel good, like, oh yeah, I'm going to, yeah, this sounds good.
So what are some of the things that they say? What are some of the things?
You know, you're a nurse, you're going to be commissioned, you're going to be an officer, you know. Oh yeah, what? I didn't really know the ranks. So, you know, I started off as a second lieutenant. And you'll travel the world. Well, that was it. You travel the world? Get out of here. Okay. It was a crowd. So she said, well, I just fill out this card. I filled out the card. Well, Bob, she come to my house. She took me out to dinner. And like I said, recruiters, they are something else. So here I go. I signed my name. I signed my name on the dotted line. Oh, Lord. I signed my name on the dotted line. And 30 years later, here I go. So I've been there for 30 years. I would never take it back. It was a great experience. I know, you know, as a nurse in the military and as a nurse in the civilian. Now, I know there was a question. Those two kind of gel, if you will. What I did in the military, I did travel now. So now I did start to travel. I traveled to places like El Salvador, places like, that was what they call a mission ready, a med red, which is a mission. We took supplies over to El Salvador. I'm telling you, when I saw the way folks live, if these young kids that we have here today could see that, they wouldn't ask for some of the things. I'm telling you, I almost left my whole duffel bag there because I gave them sheets, towels. You know, if you go to a hotel, you get all the toiletries. Why we take them, but we still take them home. I took all of that there. Baseball caps, I brought all of that there. What was nice is that we traveled from different territories of El Salvador. They made the schools a clinic. So we were there as, you know, as clinicians. We did, I took care of a lot of patients, but this one individual, she was like 19, and I kept taking her blood pressure. And I guess, why is her blood pressure so high? She was 8 months pregnant. Her feet and her feet, ankles were swollen, and they don't do a good maternal care there. We had to fly her to Honduras for care. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, just like in New York, we're sitting down for lunch, and the children are begging. They're begging for our food. I'm like, wow, you know, wherever you go, you see that. And so, we give them the food. They collect the bottles, same as here. Some things are kind of similar. We did have an individual who is, I would call it like an FDA type. So there's certain foods we couldn't eat because they were not, you know, like eggs. We couldn't eat eggs. Some of the meats we couldn't eat either. But coming back, I still love nursing. I've been a nurse for over 40 years. I want to say I'm semi-retired, but just like the Army, they say once a soldier, always a soldier, and once a nurse, always a nurse. So my other thing that you'll probably ask me about the pandemic
Yeah, I
hit.
was going to say,
Well, I'm just
how are
talking.
you faring during this pandemic? Has it changed your life in any way? It changed all of our lives, but
Yes,
how has
yes,
it changed your organization?
it changed our lives because now we're not boots on the ground. We can't go out. We can't volunteer a lot of things. So that was kind of depressing for us. But what we did was to make us um, emotionally stable. We did our Zoom calls. Now, normally once a month, we would meet at Black Veterans for Social Justice. You know where that is. We would meet monthly, but of course we couldn't do that. So we did Zoom, but we checked on each other, because this could lead to PTSD for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I believe that. I believe that.
So
I see it in the community now. People,
yes.
When I covered 9/11, we were going through the motions. We were doing the whole thing, but then I think it was about 3 weeks later when we settled in that I realized what we were going through, that what we went through, and that's when it hit me. And I had to take a couple of weeks off from the radio station.
It's very, so we're still doing that, of course, because again, we're not meeting face to face, but the Zoom meetings to see everybody's face definitely helps. We do a phone call. What I've been doing in my church, we've called the elders. We stand outside, we'll stand outside the house because we can't go in, things like that. What I'm doing now is I'm volunteering and I've been giving out the COVID vaccine.
Oh, wow.
So I'm doing that, and that makes me feel good.
What location are you giving the vaccine out at?
Well, right now, it's so funny. Right now, I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida. I'm talking to you from Florida. And so they, FEMA, there's areas, the Orange County Convention Center is where I've been doing. It's big, 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 big. And it's very organized. It is so organized, it's unbelievable. And so just to give so it's a drive-through, okay? It's a drive-through, and but when you give it, they say thank you so much. People have been waiting for months for this vaccine. They feel now at least I can go see my grandchild because now I have my second shot. So I can now see my grandchild. I don't have to mask. I can hug them. Like I said, it's, can be very depressing. So that's what I'm doing right now.
People talk about, the relief that people feel when they go in after receiving that first shot.
Yes.
Oh, just a burden has been released off of their minds, knowing that they can go and do some things that they couldn't do before.
Right.
And they be hospitalized or be killed, basically. But I always tell people, you still have to wear that mask. You still have to watch your distance. You still have to act accordingly.
Absolutely.
Wash your hands and stay safe.
Stay safe, right? And with most of my chapter members, we're texting each other. I got my shot. So we're keeping up with each other. Everybody's telling each other, I'm on my second shot. Or some of us will say, well, I did feel a little bit, they'll say some of the side effects. I'll say, I didn't get any side effects. I'm good. My arm is good. So we're keeping up with each other. We're making sure that we are healthy and safe. So this is what we're doing this year. Okay. So, because of the pandemic, each year we usually celebrate March Women's History Month in person. Right. But because, again, of the pandemic, we can't do that. So we're doing virtual. And for the audience and for your producers that might not know, I'm so happy that Dr. Barb Lee is going to be our host. So we're so happy that you have joined us, Dr. Barb Lee. And we're glad that you do know us. So that did help.
Yeah. Well, we've been there before. So, and we thank you for your service and thank you for all the wonderful things that you're doing and continue to do in our community. We love and appreciate you guys.
And so for this anniversary, we're going to honor 7 well-deserved frontliners. And the frontliners are not always nursing and doctors, because if you see the news, that's basically the ones that they always show. And that's not always it. We have others, you have teachers, we have a transit worker, we have a psychiatrist who she had to step out of her her comfort zone. She's from Massachusetts. She had to come to New York to be at the Jacob Javits Center. And there was an article on her. So when I saw it, I said, we got to get her. You know, she also happened to be in the military, but because the way she wrote that it wasn't her comfort zone and how she had to comfort families, again, a lot of those things are not shown, you know, on the television. So these, which you will, of course, you will meet. We're so happy that they have, you know, said that they would, they're honored to be a part of this.
Well, I have to get a plate that day while I'm hosting, and I want to make sure I hit that plate in the background. I don't have anything around me, but that can make that kind of noise. But I'm going to hit that plate. You know, every day at 7 o'clock for a while, people were hitting the plates and pots and pans and drums and yelling out the windows. Congratulations, we love you, first responders. Yeah, and we can't forget. We got to continue that, and maybe one day we can get together and do something big for all of the first responders.
That would be great. That would be great.
So what else? What else are you guys working on this year?
So this year, also what we do every year, and this past year they canceled us because of COVID. Each year, December, we do what is called Wreaths Across America. That's also emotional because we go to the National Cemetery, we place a wreath on a tombstone and we salute that soldier. So yes. So last year, we were supposed to do Calverton, which is in Suffolk County. They canceled us. The year before we did go to Calverton, and the year before that, we went to Arlington National Cemetery. And to see, Dr. Bob, the Buffalo soldiers, their names, there were tombstones that we never even knew that they're in the National Cemetery. So of course we, you know, took pictures. This year coming, you know, we're going back to Arlington.
How can people in the community get more involved with your organization? Yes.
Well, thank you for saying that. They can contact us 3 ways. We have a website, www.nabmwbk for Brooklyn, bkchapter.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram, same name, NABMW Brooklyn Chapter. They can contact us there. If they look on the website, they'll can see an application. And also, it doesn't have to just be military. We have associates that are not military. Okay, we have associates that are male and female. So hey, Bob, you could join as an associate. You know what I'm saying?
I can join. There you go. All right.
You can join as an associate. Yes. And so the associates, they're wonderful. They're part of us. We don't separate. Well, you're a member and you're not a member. We all come together.
Now in May, when you have the big event, is that mostly virtual or people can come?
It's going to be virtual. We'll send out the link. So far, we have put it on social media with the flyer, your faces on it. We will put up the link.
National Association of Black Military Women, Brooklyn Chapter. Brooklyn's in the house. Annette Osborne, member of the National Association of Black Military Women, Brooklyn Chapter. Thank you.
Thank you so
Annette.
much. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much for having me here today. And again, we appreciate you immensely.
And thank you for your service, and give virtual hugs to everybody, okay?
Yes, I will.
All right, love you.
Okay,
all right, we'll take a break right here. More open on the way next.